hiyo ndio inafanya but it's okay. Here you go. It's recording.
Oh, alright. So today we are doing a book review. The book is called 30 Things Every Woman Should Have and Should Know by the Time She's 30 by Pamela Satran. So ladies, do you have a list that you probably wrote somewhere and say, by the time I'm 30 or by the time I get to this age, this is what I want to do or accomplish?
Yes, I had a list, a serious list.
Okay, so maybe if you can mention something that was in your list.
My list had to do with my education, marriage, kids, retirement, investment. Yes.
By the time you're 30?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
And you, Brenda, did you have a list or do you have a list?
Yeah, I had a list. It's quite similar to Irene, like marriage, school, maybe a house somewhere, those kind of things, yeah.
Have you accomplished any?
No.
Okay, and you, Carrie?
Yes, I did not have a list per se. I totally have a random approach to life. So, top of mind, I'd have a few things that I wanted to do by the time I was, say, 25, 27, 30. And of course, they had to do with my education. I wanted to have my master's by the time I was 27. I wanted to have a kid by the time I was 24. I wanted to have my dream job by the time I was 30 and earn some 6-figure salary. So yes, I did not have it down written, but I had a rough idea of top of mind things I wanted to have, to own, or to do by the time I'm 30.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Just a yes or a no question. Should you have a list by the time you're 30? Because I know people really look at 30 on a different level. As a woman, should you have one before you get to 30?
Yes, you should have a list.
Brenda?
Yeah, I should have a list.
70%.
No, you can't sit on the fence. It's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
You should have a
should
list.
have a list.
Okay, fine. Let's get to Pamela's list. So number one, she says, you need to have one boyfriend who you can imagine going back to and one who reminds you of how far you've come. And I was just sharing how, when I read this is what I got from this number one list, that you need to have a guy who once treated you so bad, such that when you get a nice guy who is now treating you so well, you look back and you're like, oh really, why did I sit in a place where someone treated me like trash? So do you believe you need to have at least a bad relationship and a good relationship that before you get to 30 that kind of shows you how you need to be treated as a woman?
No. As a mental health advocate, you should not have a bad relationship. You should look at a relationship and you see signs of a bad relationship coming and you run as fast as you can.
Okay.
Personally, I saw my own parents being treated badly, my own mother, and I knew I should not be treated badly, no matter what. Yes.
Okay, and you, Brenda?
I don't believe that you should get into a bad relationship so that when you have a good thing. But again, life happens, so if you happen to be in a bad relationship, I believe you should learn from it and then walk away from it when you realize it's bad for you as a person. Yes.
Okay.
When I was reading this particular chapter, I got a different view from what we are talking about. I got the idea of a woman at 25, at 23, who had different priorities when they enter into a relationship. So probably at 30, I'd look back and I'm like, I think I should have accommodated this guy in my life because my priorities then were totally different. And by the time I'm 30, I realized, I let this guy off my hands. So this was my view. So this for me was a point of reference of what priorities I should have when I'm approaching a relationship. For me, it wasn't necessarily a bad relationship because when I'm going into a relationship, I definitely don't expect a bad thing to happen.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you define a bad relationship? Because bad is relative.
Maybe I should start. I think a bad relationship is a relationship where the environment in that relationship does not bring the best person in you, does not prioritize your success in the relationship. It would be respect for some people. For some people, it will be, hopeless romantic. Girls would like a guy who gives them attention, a guy who holds their hand as they walk, a guy who goes to Paradise Lost and carries them around. For sapiosexuals, it would be an intelligent guy, a a guy who would sit down and tell you about Brexit and talk to you about Donald Trump. And then for some of us, it's just living the moment. I mean, I just want you because I want to satisfy this need. So it is a tailored fit for each individual. So
there's
my
no
interpretation of
one-size-fits-all.
bad would not be your interpretation of bad.
Okay.
We've seen women who like a little roughed up guy, no, a guy who roughs them up. So they interpret that like this guy really is keen on what I'm doing as a woman. Yeah.
Okay, Erin.
Well, a bad relationship is one that affects your well-being, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, your social well-being, your economic well-being. Now that's a bad relationship. That's to me. Then there are things that you look at that are universal. You know, where there's abuse, you know, social abuse, physical abuse, there's emotional abuse, such things, even sexual abuse.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, those are things you look at. Verbal abuse. Those are still things that are really, really serious. There's no second guessing about whether I should stay here or not stay here. Those are universal signs, bad signs.
Okay, Brenda, how did you define a bad relationship?
Personally, I define a bad relationship when the guy is disrespectful, when the guy doesn't take me seriously when I talk or express myself, or when he's abusive, and when he doesn't really care for me as a person or as an individual. And I also want to point out what Irina said. For me, those are core relationship values, things people should look out for when you're getting into a relationship. Because I don't really get why someone would want to be with a man who roughens them up to begin with. That is abuse. How can you condone abuse? You're a human being. You're not supposed to condone abuse.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's something else that's on the list, and it's number 3. The author talks about how you need to have something perfect to wear if the employer or the man of your dreams wants to see you in an hour. So do you ladies have one good perfect outfit for that? Or you have to like remove all your clothes in the closet to just peek and see if this is it you fit, and you're like, no, this is not it. Do you have one particular outfit that you know if something happens right now, this is it?
There was a certain age that one was a serious thing.
No, but this is by the time you get to that, like,
There was a certain age before that 30th mark. I'd say that 23, 24, 25 years, or even 2019, those were things that were very
topic.
That's something you always had to, you know, look the it. It reached just a certain age, that 28, 29, 30. I think that's when we start maturing now. Huh?
But the people matured even 25, so.
I know, right? But, reached a certain age.
Do you have an outfit that you know if something happens right now, this is what I'm gonna use?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Okay, at this time, no. No.
Yeah, definitely I do.
You do.
Yeah, I have go-to clothes that I can go that caters for events that I think would cater for events I would want to go to, or the guy of my dreams. Yeah, but I think it's kind of cliche when you think I have to have a perfect dress.
I mean,
perfect
growing
guy
up
who
we had
does
the best Sunday dresses where you knew in your Sunday. So now as a grown-up individual, you need to have one that if your employer calls us up and be, hey, you need to represent me in this CEO's meeting, you have to wear it and look the part. Do you have one, Carrie?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you think it is important?
Because for women, it personally, not for women, I will not talk on behalf of all women.
You don't have to
I
become
think
great.
personally it acts some level of confidence, and then especially if it's an ambush that you have to do this in the next 30 minutes, then I'll feel comfortable when I have a dress, a shoe, a clutch or a bag that I'll just pick and be very, very confident in it.
Speaking of bags, there's also a list here that says you need to have a purse, a suitcase, and an umbrella you're not ashamed to carry.
Yes.
So I once saw this discussion where a certain lady was talking about how women have so many handbags, but then if you collect them all, they come at 2 price here, handbag yake moja.
A good one, yes.
So guys buy handbags 100, 200 bob, And then she has one for like 6K to 10K.
Yes, yes.
So she's saying if I bring one handbag of money, the price that I bought it for is like all your handbags together. So this lady was saying about how it's important to just buy one handbag that's just classy and it can serve you for the longest time rather than buying the 200, 300 handbags and then carry them for like 2 or 3 months and then they no longer are useful to you because they either zimechapa, So do you have a purse that you say, I'm not ashamed to carry this, or an umbrella or a suitcase?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm still transitioning to that.
What do you mean you're still transitioning?
Well, like if you have been a tomboy most of your life, there are things that you tend to cater for them later in life.
Okay. And you, Carrie?
I'll throw in an interpretation. So for me, when I want to purchase something, be it a bag, a shoe or a dress, I ask myself, where is my money? So yes, I'd go for one 8,000 bag. So yes, I have that bag, I have that shoe, I have that panty that, I'll wear and I'm like, this is my one.
Okay.
Yes.
Speaking about money, there's also on this list where this author was talking about you should have one thing that is ridiculously expensive that you've ever bought for yourself. There are people who, use their money in their hair. I'm not that experimental with hair. The others buy clothes, the others buy shoes, others just eat. No, eating is not buying. No, eating is not buying. So what can you say you've ever bought for yourself that was just expensive, that you look back and you're like, hey, this really took all my money, but it was worth it?
I have several things.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Okay, we're dealing with an expensive woman. Okay, sure.
From shoes to dresses to handbags. Yes.
Okay.
Like
The most
costly.
expensive? How much was the most expensive thing?
Do you have to say it here?
I mean,
TMI.
alright.
Give your
Fine.
range. Give your range.
Range?
Yeah, but I have
Range.
a bag that I bought for 12,000 shillings.
Okay, almost dropped this one.
I have a bag I bought for 12,000 shillings. And I had it for, I think, it really served me for about 4 to 5 years.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Brenda? Range? Because now we don't want to spill all the brown people coming to you and then stealing from you. If it is more expensive.
Definitely for me, my music system, because I love music, and then we're talking about the kitchen. I'm into cooking, so definitely my kitchen equipment. Those for me that are like I have to have them. So yeah, that's where my money goes to.
Alright. Personally, I do not know where my money goes to. Anyway, so on the list also we have a youth that you are supposed to be contented with, to move beyond, and also a past that's juicy enough that you're looking forward to tell. So can you say it's important to just have this whole past that you're so sure you never want to go back to, but you're really looking forward to telling it to your grandchildren? Or if, I know it's only a like, I don't have that past.
I think when I was reading this particular topic or chapter, what came to my mind is what priorities of taking care of myself that I had, I'm definitely over 30, that I had before I was 30. And looking back, the way the society pushes us and expects us to live our lives, at that particular age, you tend to forget ourselves so much. So looking back, I think at this age, what I got from this chapter, at an age before 30, then is when you need to explore yourself.
That's how you interpreted it. Or they interpreted it wrongly.
No, not wrongly, maybe it was your interpretation, it wasn't wrong. So for me, it was at this particular age, what will I look back and say that this one geared my soul towards self-exploiting, like, for real, I lived my 25. Like, I would pay for a holiday and go on and like, yes, I look back and I'm content that this drove me towards a better me at 30, a better me at 32, a better me at 31. You see? So for me, it was looking back, what can you attribute your 20s to before 30?
Mine, I was a party animal. Do you have a past that's juicy enough to retell in the future?
Oh, juicy enough.
Yes.
Wow, they said I was very cheeky. Very.
You still are cheeky.
Okay.
Yes. One thing they say, I'm very confident, very bold. When I want something, I go for it.
Did you do that in your youth?
I did
I
it
mean, you're still a youth, but
when I was a young girl, even before teenager, when I was a teenager, when I was like a young adult, late 30s, yes, not late 30s,
late 20s,
Yes, yes. I've gone out there, I've done my thing, no regrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any regret. Though I can't go back doing those things, I think I lived it because a party animal. I did everything else. I broke all the rules. I advise people not to do that. But I think I'd have something to tell my great grandchildren
Yes.
should I want to have kids in the future. Now, also speaking about kids, by the time you're 30, you need to know if you really want to have kids or not. Because I've seen women who date and, they're with a guy who really wants kids. And then this lady does not want to have a family. So how do you feel about that? By 30, should you know if you want to have a family or not? By the time you're 30.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens. Is this something that just happens?
No, it's not something that happens. That is where people make
Yeah, it
mistakes.
should not just
You
happen.
should really know, do you want to have a family as a woman? I know what society thinks about women. You should have families, you should have kids by this age, but at the end of the day, as a woman, you should really know what you want. If you don't really want a family, why should you have a family? By 30, you should know if you want kids.
But then life happens. Sometimes you really want to have kids, and then in the process, you lose your job, you lose your sanity, you lose your home, you lose everything else, and then you wonder, okay, why do I even want to have children?
But that shouldn't really necessitate you not having kids if you wanted to have kids in the first place.
Okay, so
Yes.
you need to know if you want to have kids.
Yes.
Before you get to 30.
It's very important because
Okay.
there's also that planning period.
All right, and do you still?
Yes, I think, yes, you should know if you even want to have those kids in the first place. And yes, you should plan for those kids. I mean, I got my daughter when I was 23.
Wow.
So it came as an accident, but I knew ever since I was a teenager that I loved kids so much. So my daughter is 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I knew from the word go that I wanted kids. The only thing I would advise anyone is that you should really plan to have a kid, and it should not be a pressure exerted to you by any force, whether a boyfriend, a husband, your parents, or anyone. I know some ladies who never want to have kids. They are 35, they are very comfortable. So psychologically, you should be comfortable to have a kid to avoid things like pre. Yeah, the stress that women have after having a kid and turning it to postnatal something. Yes, so it is prudent that you plan to have that kid in as much as you want to have that kid.
Okay.
Yes.
Before Irene gets to answer that part, let's take a short break, and then when we return, we'll get to hear what she has to say. Welcome back to Books That Matter. Now, before the break, we were talking about if you need to know if you want to have kids by the time you're 30, and Irene is going to answer that part. Do you think, as a woman, by the time you're 30, you need to know if you want to have kids?
Yes, as a woman, you should have goals. Goals.
Wait,
One
is
of
having
it is
kids goals?
it is having a child. That's a
Not for
goal.
everyone, though.
Okay. This is now my perspective.
Oh, no, all right.
You must have at least a goal concerning every aspect of your life. Now, having a child is one of the aspects. Now, I talked to so many women. Actually, it's so funny. They always say, this is how we got married. It got like this. I'm pregnant. Okay, you're pregnant. Then let's get married. That's what most women say. At least the ones I've talked to.
wrong.
Yes. Now, one of my lists was by 27, I'm done with my master's. It's like we have the same thing, right? By 28, I'm so married, and the 3 kids. By 33, I'm done with having kids. Now, that is what you want or plan, and then there's what life is happening or what God has planned. And what God has planned, you can't force it.
Yeah, they say God has a sense of humor.
Yes,
When
but
one-
planning a child is very important because children are very expensive. You can attest to that, very expensive. You need to prepare yourself psychologically, monetary-wise, to bring this child. It's a serious affair. It's a serious affair. So you must plan for it, and it's very bad to plan for it.
So you need to know if you want to have kids or not.
Yes.
All right.
You need to know.
Fine, let's go on to the no list. So number one is how to fall in love without losing yourself. So some women who, okay, there's this post I read on social media that was written by